It's okay. You're okay.
An SUV stuck in the middle of the damage.
Saw a massive 9.2 earthquake in 1964.
Just days ago, a massive 7.3 magnitude earthquake struck off Alaska's coast near Sandpoint, triggering tsunami warnings across 700 miles of coastline. Thousands of residents fled to higher ground as seismic waves raced through the Earth's crust. But here's what's truly shocking. This wasn't unusual for Alaska. In fact, Alaska experiences more earthquakes than all other U.S. states combined. Over 20,000 earthquakes every single year. But that's just the beginning of Alaska's incredible geography story. What if I told you that Alaska is so geographically extreme that it holds records that will completely change how you think about America itself? Consider this mind-bending fact. Alaska is simultaneously the easternmost, westernmost, and northernmost point in the entire United States. How is that even possible? The answer lies in a geographic puzzle that involves crossing the international dateline and bending the very concept of east and west. And that recent earthquake? It happened in a region where you can literally see tomorrow, where two superpowers once stared at each other across a frozen strait during the Cold War, where the distance between America and Russia is shorter than your daily commute. But the real mystery goes deeper. To understand Alaska's incredible geography, we need to go back to 1867, when Russia sold this massive territory to the United States for just $7.2 million, about $156 million in today's money. Critics called it Seward's folly, dismissing Alaska as a frozen wasteland of impenetrable mountains and forests. Alaska spans over 663,000 square miles, making it larger than Texas, California, and Montana combined. If Alaska were its own country, it would rank as the 17th largest nation on Earth, sitting right between Iran and Libya. This isn't just big, this is continental-scale geography compressed into a single state. The Aleutian Islands stretch so far west that they actually cross the 180th meridian, the international dateline. This means that Cape Wrangel on Attu Island is technically both the westernmost and easternmost point in the United States. Stand there, and you're literally in tomorrow compared to the rest of America. This geographic positioning made Alaska strategically crucial during the Cold War. At the Bering Strait, Alaska and Russia are separated by just 55 miles of water. But at their closest points, Little Diomede Island and Big Diomede Island, Russia, the distance shrinks to just 2.4 miles. On a clear day, you can see from one superpower to another. But here's where it gets truly incredible. Alaska's size creates geographic extremes that exist nowhere else on the planet. Alaska's extreme geography is the result of massive tectonic forces that are still actively reshaping the landscape today. The state sits at the convergence of several major tectonic plates, the Pacific, North American, and smaller regional plates, creating a geological battleground of incredible proportions. This tectonic activity explains why Alaska experiences those 20,000-plus earthquakes annually. The recent 7.3 magnitude quake near Sandpoint occurred along the Aleutian Trench, where the Pacific Plate is diving beneath the North American Plate. This same process created the Aleutian Islands and continues to build Alaska's volcanic arc. Alaska hosts over 130 volcanoes and volcanic fields, many still active. Mount Spur could erupt any day, and when Alaskan volcanoes blow, they don't just affect Alaska. Their ash plumes can disrupt global air traffic because so many international flights cross Alaskan airspace en routes to Asia. The glacial activity has carved out approximately 3.5 million lakes, millions more than Minnesota's famous 10,000 lakes. These aren't just puddles. Lake Iliamna alone spans over 1,000 square miles, larger than the entire state of Rhode Island. The Malaspina Glacier, larger than Rhode Island, flows from the St. Elias Mountains like a frozen river of time. These glaciers aren't just ice, they're geological archives, containing layers of volcanic ash and atmospheric gases that tell the story of Earth's climate over millennia. But here's the surprising connection. This same tectonic violence that creates earthquakes and volcanoes is also responsible for Alaska's most beautiful features. Those 100,000-plus glaciers, they exist because Alaska's mountains, thrust up by tectonic forces, capture moisture from the Pacific and freeze it into rivers of ice. Alaska's extreme geography isn't just a curiosity, It's reshaping global politics, economics, and climate science in ways that affect everyone on Earth. Climate change is hitting Alaska at twice the global average rate. The permafrost that underlies 85% of the state is melting, creating the drunken forest effect where entire sections of boreal forest tilt and sag. This isn't just changing Alaska's landscape, it's releasing massive amounts of greenhouse gases that accelerate global warming. As Arctic ice melts, new shipping lanes are opening up. Alaska's position makes it a crucial gateway between North America and Asia. Anchorage has become one of the world's largest freight hubs because it's closer to Tokyo, 3,450 miles, than San Francisco is, 5,100 miles. The state's 33,000-plus miles of coastline, more than the rest of the United States combined, are becoming increasingly important as sea levels rise and Arctic resources become accessible. Even Alaska's capital, Juneau, embodies this geographic extremism. It's the only U.S. state capital completely cut off from its state's road network, accessible only by boat or plane, surrounded by mountains and channels that make traditional infrastructure impossible. The geopolitical implications extend far beyond Alaska's borders. As Arctic ice melts, new territorial disputes are emerging. Russia has planted flags on the Arctic seafloor, claiming vast underwater territories. Alaska's geographic position makes it America's front line in this new Arctic competition. But here's the most incredible revelation. Alaska's geography is still actively changing. The Hubbard Glacier is actually advancing while most glaciers retreat. Denali, at 20,310 feet, is still growing taller due to ongoing tectonic uplift. The Turnagain Arm near Anchorage experiences 40-foot tidal differences, creating bore tides that surge upstream like liquid earthquakes. Alaska's geography isn't just about impressive statistics, it's about a place where the Earth itself is still being written. From the earthquake that shook the state just days ago to the glaciers that are reshaping coastlines, Alaska represents geography in motion, a landscape that refuses to stay still. This is a state where you can experience midnight sun for 2 months, then polar night for another 2 months. Where permafrost preserves ancient remains while volcanic activity creates new land. Where you can stand at the easternmost point in America while technically being in the Western Hemisphere. Alaska's 663,000 square miles contain more geographic extremes than most continents. It's a place where the rules of geography bend, break, and reshape themselves with every earthquake, every volcanic eruption, every advancing glacier. The next time you hear about an earthquake in Alaska, remember, you're witnessing a continent in the making, a geography so extreme it challenges our very understanding of what a single state can contain. What other geographic mysteries are hiding in plain sight across America? The answers might surprise you even more than Alaska's incredible extremes.